Welcome to the TrueLens Podcast, the podcast all about South Washington County. So if you love the Minnesota cities of Woodbury, Cottage Grove, St. Paul Park, Newport, and Gray Cloud, you're in the right spot.
TrueLens, TrueLens, TrueLens Podcast.
I'm your host today, Ann Schweisguth. I am the executive director here at TrueLens Community Media. And today, my guest host is the amazing, the astounding, the authentic Mayor of Woodbury, Ann Burt.
What a nice introduction, Ann. Thank you. I love that we have the same name.
I love it. I feel like we should have a podcast like Ann and Ann.
Yeah, right. Or Ann Squared or something like that.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to put that on the list. Well, I was so thrilled when you said, yeah, of course I'll come on the podcast. And you are on the first ever TrueLens Podcast.
I'm honored. Thank you for the invitation and the opportunity.
You know who we are. But some people might go, TrueLens Community Media. Who is that? Well, we've been known as the South Washington County Telecommunications Commission, or SWCTC, for over 40 years in the community. We make all the videos for the local cable channel, we're on YouTube. We make sure all your city meetings are sent out there. And now you can know us as TrueLens Community Media, which I think is a good change.
I think it's a good change. SWCTC and South Washington County Telecommunications Commission were both a mouthful. So this is going to be much easier. TrueLens, 2 syllables.
Right?
Yeah.
And you may be the first person to ever say the name correctly. So
Oh, okay, good.
people would always kind of say different letters.
Yeah.
We'd go, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, this podcast here, now on this podcast, you're not just a guest. You're elevated to host.
That's cool. I've never been a host before.
Right?
Except for parties. I'm good at that, by the way.
I feel like you would be. I went to the State of the City address this year, and I feel like you were like the MC of the event. It was very interactive, and I really enjoyed it.
Oh, I'm glad. We try to make it interesting for people. If you're going to go and learn about it, it's got to be interesting and, informative at the same time.
Oh, absolutely. Now, why don't we jump right into story time here?
Okay.
Let's talk about some other interesting things. So on this podcast, we're going to look at some TrueLens videos or listen to them, depending on if you're watching on YouTube or on your favorite podcast app. And then we're going to chat about it.
Great.
Okay.
Let's do it. What's up first?
Up first is going to be about the Metro Microbus, which I know you have a lot to say about that.
I do.
This video is brought to us by producer Nikki Johnson.
There's a new way to get around Woodbury. Let's see how it works. Adam, what is Metro Micro and how is it different than a Metro Transit bus?
Well, Metro Micro is a new service we just started operating in 2022, our first project in North Minneapolis. It's very similar to Uber or Lyft, and it's an app-enabled service that we provide where a customer can book a ride online the same day and be connected to another transit route or destination within a confined area. And it is at a fare that we think is affordable for the type of service that's provided. It's the same fare every time. Right now, we're scheduling 5 buses throughout the day. And again, that area is determined about how far we can get with those 5 buses and still deliver a service within 20 minutes of a booking. So right now, we're starting on this pilot in Western Woodbury, connecting over to as far west as Century Avenue and Woodwind Hospital, far south as Eastridge High School, and along the 494 corridor between Radio Drive and as far east as Woodbury.
So when someone books a ride through Metro Micro, do they have to be picked up at a certain spot? Where can they be picked up from?
It really is right from their location, their home or business or wherever they are, at that curbside to the other destination, and it will say right in the app where that location is. So it's out your front door and out to the driveway, or at the front door of the business or the apartment where you're going, or the transit station. So it's pretty clear in where that is. And if you can't use the app, you can always call the phone number and you'll be able to be connected and book that ride on the phone.
So Metro Microbus, what do you think of this new pilot program?
I think it's phenomenal. I started learning and reading about this microtransit that existed in some other parts of the country, and I'm like, that is really brilliant. It's innovative, and it's really the way of the future, providing transit for people.
Absolutely.
Because
It's like almost like Uber.
It is like Uber.
Yeah.
It's incredible. I'm just amazed with it. The city, we're very thrilled because we had it on our legislative priorities, and the Met Council knew that. And this, of course, is a Met Council Metro Transit program And when they were looking at expanding to another pilot area, they picked Woodbury because we've been asking for it. So really thrilled to have it here. Can I tell you a little bit about how it works from my perspective?
Absolutely. I know you've been on it.
I wrote it like day 3, and I
great.
instantly downloaded the app. The app is very easy to use, again, like Uber or Lyft. And you just plug in where you are and then where you want to go, and then it comes and picks you up, just like Uber or Lyft.
At your house, at your school, at the restaurant,
It
wherever
doesn't
you
matter.
are.
It's door to door from wherever you are to wherever you want to go, as long as it's within that 13 square mile area. So very, very easy to use. The app is great. So just like on Uber, you can see, here's the buses. You see the little map. The bus is here, and it's moving here. And
it actually follows it.
You can follow it on the app, which is very cool.
That is great. Does it tell you who your driver is?
Doesn't tell you. No, it doesn't tell you that. I don't think you get a rating for it, but you can see that
they
it's
should
coming.
do a rating. I think that's a great idea.
Well, it may be something that expand to later.
Right, after the pilot program.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. So far, the drivers I've been on it 3 or 4 times, have been wonderful. I think it's just a great service for people. And I'll give a particular example. My mother-in-law just moved here from out of state. She's living in a senior living facility, and she doesn't drive. But she has learned to get around. In fact, she's off today right now at another appointment somewhere in Woodbury that they just pick her up and take her where she needs to go. So,
and it's only $1 for seniors, correct?
For seniors, it's $1. It's it really is unbelievable. It's just a fantastic program, fantastic service.
This also connects to the Gold Line, correct?
Absolutely, yes. So that's one of the key reasons, knowing that Metro Transit was excited about, because they do want to promote the use of the Gold Line, and to have this connection to it is just fantastic. So, yeah, people can get from their location. In fact, again, I did this with my mother-in-law. We picked her up. I was with her on the Metro Micro and got to the Gold Line. We had to go to an appointment downtown St. Paul, so very easy transition. And what's interesting, too, is you pay for the Metro Micro, and then if you go get on the Gold Line, there's not another fee associated with it.
Oh, you just hop on the second bus.
You can transfer to another type of transit that's being offered within like a 2.5-hour window, I think. The other way that it works is if you wanted to go, let's say, to Kowalski's from wherever you are, and you wanted to go and do your shopping and have someone pick you up, within round trip of 2.5 hours, it's the same fare. You don't need to...
so for $1, you could go from your house to Kowalski's, pick up your groceries, have them pick you up, bring it back home.
Exactly.
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't know that you can really beat that deal.
No.
Anywhere else.
No. It's amazing. Yeah.
The cost for the average user is $2.50 non-rush hour and $3.25 during rush hour, and seniors are $1. Mm-hmm. Sounds like a great deal. I heard someone was talking to one of the drivers, and they said, what is your typical, what are people like, where are they going? Mm-hmm. And he said, I take a lot of teenage girls to Target.
That's awesome. I love that. That's great.
Who would think, that's perfect.
Yeah. That's wonderful. Yeah, and they'll pick up students from school and get them to, if they're there for after-school activities and need to get somewhere or get back home.
That's a huge thing for parents.
Sure. Yeah, I wish I had that when my kids were young and I needed them.
Mm-hmm. Hopefully the program will expand, because I know our other communities here would love to see it come in, to Cottage Grove, St. Paul Park, Newport area. Right. We'll kind of see how that goes.
Right. And in addition, I know there's a need for the other part of Woodbury. It really covers the east side and covers the west side, not so much the east side. So at some point, I hope they are able to expand.
If people want to find out more about Metro Micro, they can just go to metrotransit.org/micro, or there's an app too.
Yeah, there's an app. And the app, it's important that you get the capitalization and the spacing right, because there's another Metro Micro app somewhere else in the country. But ours is capital M, ETRO, space, lowercase m, ICRO. So Metro, capital M, micro, lowercase with a space in the middle. So find the app, and then you feel like you're using Uber. It's very cool.
Hop on the bus.
But let me add one more thing, because sometimes seniors or others may not be able to use the app very well based on whatever. You can also, there's a phone number they have available.
Oh, excellent.
And people can just call. In fact, that's what my mother-in-law does. It's just easier for her to make the phone call and say she wants to be picked up at one spot and go to the other. And they'll tell her.
There's a real person who picks up?
There's a real person.
Wow.
And they'll tell her they'll be there in X number of minutes.
Oh, that's great.
So she knows that information. It's wonderful.
They really thought this through.
They really have. It's so great.
Okay. Well, let's talk about a new organization that has come to Woodbury and, of course, reported on the Metro Micro. And that is the Woodbury New Net. We'll play the story first, and I know we have a lot to talk about with them. Yeah. This story is brought to us by our multimedia manager, Bob McSherry.
Woodbury New Net is an opportunity for our neighbors, the people of Woodbury, to have a chance to know what's going on in our city. Woodbury News Net connects people in many different ways. It's hyper-local, so people get the news about Woodbury.
Woodbury News Net is a new local nonprofit whose goal is to provide an independent news source that, as their mission statement says, strengthens the bond of community, one story at a time. It was founded by a group of residents who felt that there was a need in the community for hyper-local coverage.
After the Woodbury Bulletin closed 4 or 5 years ago, it became so clear we were missing really crucial information that simply isn't provided by any of the other news outlets. The loss of the Woodbury Bulletin was a real problem in our community.
Woodbury News Net helps fill the void that the Woodbury Bulletin left, providing coverage of city government, public safety, community interest stories, events happening around town, and a whole lot more.
So Woodbury News Net, brand new.
Yes.
And they have the roundabout is what it's called, correct? Which is kind of like they don't have a paper version that you would read with the paper, but it's an online version.
Right, exactly. It's an email that comes once a week with all these little fabulous news stories about things in our community.
Right. I don't know about you, but I really missed local reporting. Because it's been a long time.
I did too. The very last issue of the Woodbury Bulletin, I wrote a letter to the editor just saying how much we were going to miss it. I mean, I love the stories of everything going on in a community. I love knowing about the kids and what they're doing with Boy Scouts or Cub Scouts or sporting events or what have you. Yeah,
Right.
we missed it.
We definitely missed it. And when I heard that this is a nonpartisan, volunteer-based community, news source. And a lot of these people are not getting paid for it. They're doing it because they really believe in community local reporting.
Right.
So I think that it's great. I want more people to sign up and look at it because it's once a week. I read most of the articles that they put in there, and I always do the word scramble.
Oh, fun.
Yeah. I'm getting really good at word scrambles with it. I don't even need the hint.
Oh, that's amazing. You're amazing, Ann. Yeah.
Well, I try. So where do you think that this will go?
Well, again, just like you said, I'm hoping that more people learn about it and expand it and sign up for it because it's just a terrific way to connect the community with all the various stories and things happening. And we want to be a connected community. So I'm really hoping for its growth and expansion. And they're doing a fabulous job. What I find interesting is the people working on it really come from the industry. They are professional writers, journalists, editors that are volunteering their time to do this. So it's professional work.
And we didn't even say the best thing about it is it's free.
It's free.
You don't have to pay for this. It's free. All you have to do is sign up, and they don't send you ads or anything else. They just deliver news.
Right.
I don't know how you could not sign up.
Exactly.
Yeah, Woodbury News Net. Go find them, sign up for them.
Yeah.
Enjoy.
It's fantastic. Yes.
Okay, our last story today is about the City of Woodbury's tree replacement rebate program. And if you're listening only on the podcast, you're about to hear from Deb Harrison, the Parks and Forestry Technician for the city. So that pesky emerald ash borer, do you remember when it first came to town?
Oh, I sure do.
Yeah, it was, can you believe it was 16 years ago now?
It was that long ago?
It was that long ago, but we talked about that so much, about this emerald ash borer coming in, going to destroy our ash trees. 16 years later, we have seen the kind of devastation from it in different areas. I went and I looked up how many ash trees are in the state of Minnesota. How many ash trees do you think we have?
Oh, hundreds of thousands.
We have nearly 1 billion.
1 billion.
Nearly 1 billion in the state of Minnesota. So millions of ash trees have been affected by this. So it's nice to see that the city is offering this rebate. Like Deb had said, you can get up to $199 per tree, up to 3 trees per year, and it replaces a tree that you took off your private property. So it's a good deal. Now, there's another program the city is doing as well. That is the private ash tree removal assessment program.
Right.
If anybody has trees they need to remove from their land, the city will help finance that, and that money will go onto your taxes, correct? Just like a road assessment.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. So there's 2 programs out there right now.
That's right. Yeah. And that just helps people. We know that if you haven't been treating your tree, and treatment does work, but you have to have started it at the right time. And if that isn't the case and you've got a dying tree, you're going to need to take it down. They become brittle and dangerous and can be very harmful to property or people. So you've got to take it down. And depending on how old the tree is, it can be very, very expensive.
Isn't it amazing how much trees cost to come down?
Yes.
Especially the very big tall ones.
Yeah.
And so the ability to help finance that and to help get some money back for that, I think that's a great deal.
Absolutely. And
So-
then to be able to replace that tree canopy, I'm just so proud of, how green it is. And especially this time of year, you see all the leaves popping and it's just...
Everything just came out, didn't it?
Didn't it?
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
just-
wonderful.
Just beautiful. But our tree canopy and shade is important in our community. Our logo has got a tree on it. That means something to the city of Woodbury.
Right.
So to be able to help people replace those trees that have died because of EAB is really necessary and important. And we're happy to be able to help people do so.
I do a lot of drone footage for the cities and flying over, all of South Washington County. It's just beautiful with the different colored trees. I mean, the fall, it's gorgeous.
It is.
So, if people are interested in that rebate program, it's woodburymn.gov/tree rebate. So, and also the private ash tree removal assessment program is also on the city's website. Okay. Are you ready for a little Q&A?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Since I have the mayor of Woodbury, I thought, well, why not ask her a few, very important questions?
Okay.
So, what's the best thing about being mayor?
I'm just really honored to serve in this role because I get to be the spokesperson for the city and talk about all the great things happening in our community, whether I meet with community members here in big groups or small groups or just having coffee with someone or more on a regional or even statewide or national basis. I get to talk about how wonderful Woodbury is. We're the 8th largest city in Minnesota. We're growing. There's a lot of reason why people want to live here, move here, start businesses here, work here. It's just a fabulous place. So I'm just thrilled to be able to represent that.
Well, you do it very, very well. What is the most unique question or comment you've received? I'm sure that people have said a lot of things to you.
Yeah. The first one that comes to mind, and this is interesting, what do we do with the roadkill?
Oh, that is a very common question people have. What do we do with the roadkill?
Well, it's very interesting that our community service officers are the ones that have to pick up the roadkill and move it wherever. I don't even know where they move it to, but we have several community service officers. We see those cars roaming around the city all the time, and that's one of their jobs is to pick up the roadkill.
That and save baby ducks from,
Yeah, right.
Although
Cats out
maybe
of trees.
Public Works does that.
Yeah.
But cats out of trees. Cats don't want to get out of the tree, I don't think. If you had a superpower and you could instantly fix one city issue, what would it be?
Oh boy, it's a big one. It's if I could instantly have our water treatment plant constructed and under operation.
Absolutely.
That's what I would want. Right now we are treating most of the water that residents are getting, but we're treating it through temporary treatment facilities. So ones that were put in and not designed to last for hundreds of years, or which is what our permanent treatment plant is designed to do. So we are treating our water, but we've got to build this permanent plant, and to do so, you've probably been around the community. You've seen the road closures. We're putting in 17 miles of piping that needs to go under the roads and under trails to get to our central plant that's being built just south of the sports center, south of East Ridge High School. And then we have to send water back out to the community. So this project is going to last until 2028. And it's
a big one.
It's a big one. It's a lot of work. It's fun to go over and see the construction of the plant itself, to see the amount of dirt that's being moved.
Or even the size of the pipes. I mean,
yes,
it's fascinating.
It's fascinating. So I know we're putting our residents and visitors to the community through a lot of heartache as they travel around and different roads are being closed at different times, and it's causing backup and headache, but we've got to do it. So we appreciate everyone's patience and understanding as we work through this process over the next several summers to get this work done.
Well, if you had that superpower and could instantly make it done, you would be elected for life, I think.
Oh, there you go. I don't know that I want that, but it's not a bad
That's a
thing.
whole nother question, right? Okay, now currently, I know that it probably changes because there's tons of places to go in Woodbury. My favorite lunch spot changes a lot, but what where's your go-to lunch spot or dinner spot in town right now?
I have to be totally honest. I love variety in my life. I really do. So
You mix it up.
I mix it up all the time. We have so many great restaurants and places to go in our city. So I make a point of getting around to all kinds of different places all the time. I love it. This time of year, anywhere with an outdoor patio is especially a wonderful place to go. So
Right. There are some really great outdoor patios in Woodbury.
Yeah, there are.
Yeah.
So I'm working with friends to go out tonight for, end of the week happy hour. So looking forward to seeing what patio we end up at.
That's all my questions. I'm not gonna just inundate you with questions today.
Okay.
But we do want to talk about the past.
Okay.
Okay? So I love to talk about history and to dig into history and to find out things that I never knew about South Washington County. Today we're going to have a little segment with producer Elena Myers, and it is about one of the first doctors in town that serviced most of South Washington County. It's Dr. Arthur Steen.
The task of seeing a doctor today can be done as easily as a few keystrokes on our computers. But in the late 1800s, it was a very different story. For a time, most newborn residents in the South Washington County area were brought into the world with the help of one man, Dr. Arthur Henry Steen. How much did it cost to deliver a baby in the early days, you might wonder? Well, only $3. Dr. Steen arrived in the village of Cottage Grove in 1874, where he rented an office for a short time until a pioneer farmer, Samuel Ferber, offered to build the doc his own office on the corner of his property. This little office would serve the physician for the next 53 years. In the early days, he didn't have enough money for a buggy and harness, so he invested in a saddle horse to see patients located too far to walk to. Eventually, because of the countless miles required, he needed more than one horse so the others could rest. Eventually, he purchased one of the first automobiles, but he would still use horses hitched to a sleigh for winter travel. In 1887, he married Eva Perkins of Denmark Township. The couple would have no children of their own, but when Eva's brother and his wife died, the couple took in their 3 children. One fall, typhoid fever spread through the country, and the doctor had more than 40 cases to care for. He also dealt with diphtheria and the 1918 influenza epidemic. Dr. Steen told the 1927 chronicler that it gave him the hardest sustained battle he ever experienced. For 3 months, he never found time to eat at home, and his sleep for the most part was had in occasional naps. Dr. Arthur Steen practiced medicine until the day he died on November 14, 1928. He was 78 years old, saved countless lives, and delivered over 5,000 babies. He is buried next to his wife Eva in the Cottage Grove Cemetery.
Could you imagine?
I can't imagine. And I didn't know that story. That's fascinating.
Isn't it, though? $3 to deliver a baby?
Yeah. How you have to get to the people to visit them and
Right.
care for them. Wow.
Right?
Yeah.
The struggles to get from his home in Cottage Grove to a patient in Woodbury.
Right.
Like, imagine the trip that it would take. And
There wasn't a road.
you're not going to, if you forget something, you're just not going back
Yeah.
to get it.
Right.
So amazing. There's a lot of great history stories out there. We, of course, love the Woodbury Heritage Society.
Yeah.
They
I
do-
do too. I'm a member. I
Oh, good.
appreciate- Yes, I love them.
Good. They have some information about Dr. Steen as well. And it would be so fun if we had any footage from back then.
Yeah.
Just to see. The roads are different. The landscape is different. It would just be fascinating.
Yeah. Unbelievable. Right.
Okay, let's talk about here and now.
Oh, okay.
Because we have some events coming up that we just want to talk about and make sure people know are coming up. First is high school graduations are right around the corner. 2025, the class of 2025 is graduating already.
I'm always amazed how quickly the year rolls through, and before you know it, it's graduation time. Prom has already occurred, then they're going to be graduating and moving on. The next group comes in.
Right? Do you have, what's your words of wisdom for the class of 2025?
Go out and live life to the fullest.
Oh, I
For
love
sure.
it.
Whatever that is, whether it's you're pursuing ongoing education or vocational work of some sort, or just enjoying life. This is the time for me personally, I love that time in my life. You get to grow as a young adult. You learn, you have opportunities for more independence, and you get to become the person that you really are. So I love this time of life for people. So I just want to go out and live life to the fullest.
It really is. The late teens, the early 20s, that's a really exciting time in life. I always tell people, my niece just went off to college last year. My nephew will go next year. I always tell them, go have fun, work hard, be a good person, enjoy your life.
Yeah.
And, it's a very confusing time for some people in the early 20s. If you get confused and everything becomes too much, because you are making really big decisions in your life. You're deciding what you're going to do for a living, who you're going to hang out with, all of these things, where you're going to live. It's okay to not be okay.
Yeah.
And it's okay to be like, this is normal. I'm in my early 20s.
Yeah. I remember that feeling too when I was leaving high school and trying to figure out what am I doing next in life, and knowing I had several options. And it's like I knew at that time how impactful it was, because no matter what direction I took was going to impact my life forever. The friends I met, the person I married, the career I went into, it can be overwhelming. But you have to, use your head and your heart and figure out what's for you. And then if that's the position you're in, just move forward with it.
Throw yourself into it and go that path and see where it goes. You can always change later. It's okay.
Right.
And if the day gets hard, just go to bed and tomorrow will be better.
That's right. Good advice.
Well, this year the graduations are at Mariucci. Normally they are at Aldrich Arena. So this year they're at Mariucci. June 9th is Woodbury and East Ridge. June 10th is Park. And we just want to wish everybody graduating this year a very happy graduation and congratulations.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Good luck on the next step.
Yeah.
The next thing I want to talk about is Cottage Grove Strawberry Fest is coming up in June. So June 19th to the 22nd at Kingston Park is Cottage Grove. It's kind of the kickoff to festivals in my mind.
Yes.
So it's festival season,
And it's a lot of fun. Yeah.
Festivals are a lot of fun. Brings a lot of people. There's a lot of mini donuts,
Yeah, I know. It's great. We went to the last year's in Cottage Grove. It was, they had a great band on one of the nights, and it was kind of rainy and misty, but it did not prohibit the crowd from gathering and having a great time. It really was a lot of fun.
They always have a good crowd. They have really good fireworks, too.
Yeah.
I think they do that Saturday night. And they always have great bands.
Yeah.
And, the Lions have their beer garden, and the carnival's going.
It's just fun.
Yeah. So check that out. Last thing I want to talk about is 4th of July, just because our next podcast won't air until, pretty close to that date. Woodbury's will be at the Sports Center.
That's right.
On July 4th. Do you always look forward to that event?
Oh, I love it. Yeah. That's just another great opportunity for community to gather. And we do get people from the community, but also outside the community, because Woodbury's a great place to come and visit. And we have a great fireworks show and always some live music. So it is just really a fun event.
Live music, I think food trucks usually.
Food trucks, yes. And we've got enough parking all around the high school and the sports center for people to be able to park and set up their lawn chair or whatever they're going to do. Have a great time.
Hopefully it won't rain. I think last year it got kind of rained out.
Completely stormed out. It was bad.
Yeah, which was kind of one of the reasons that Cottage Grove is not doing their 4th of July on the 4th this year. They're doing it on the Sunday, July 6th at Kingston Park, because last year they switched the date to a Sunday and they had a really big turnout. So they thought, why don't we keep it on Sunday?
That's fun.
And bring people in.
And then there's other events around the community. There's different fireworks at different times. So people have a lot of choice of when and where to go watch the fireworks.
Or you can just go on your balcony and just look.
Right. I know.
All the cities are doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I love it.
It has been a complete pleasure to have you on the very first podcast of the TrueLens Podcast. Thank you for joining me today, Burt.
My pleasure. Thank you. And all the best to you and your new organization going forward.
Oh, thank you so much. Well, you'll be a brand ambassador for us, right?
Absolutely.
I'll give you a sticker after this.
Oh, please. That'd be great. Thanks, Ann.
All right. Well, thank you for listening or watching today. We so appreciate it if you would follow us and share the TrueLens Podcast, brought to you by TrueLens Community Media. And you can find us on YouTube or wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. Have a great day.
Thanks for joining us. TrueLens Podcast. Subscribe now. Brought to you by TrueLens Community Media.
Watch, listen, connect.